Good afternoon. I hope this daily connection finds you well. I think our community is made up of some really awesome people. I think Hazel Park Congregational United Church of Christ is located in a unique place on the east side of St. Paul, nestled between a busy street, White Bear Avenue, and neighborhoods. We are a community that is diverse, young and old, black and white. It is a community that holds so much. It is also a community that is dealing with a great deal as we try to come to terms with a pandemic, civil unrest, and the issues of structural racism within our community. And when something happens to a member of our community, it happens to all of us. In our 125 years, we have endured a great deal as a congregation here on the east side, and even a fire. So when something happens to a member within our community, within our neighborhood, it happens to all of us. Last Friday morning, one of our beloved teachers at Hazel Park Learning Center was robbed at gunpoint. Obviously, this has shaken all of us to the core. The other members of the staff of the Learning Center, the staff here at the church, and our neighborhood. How can this keep happening? What is going on? And how do we respond? And this is the moment in which we as a church community takes a moment to respond, to reach out, and to connect. In the coming days, you will see information coming out from me as we are partnering with our community leaders to hold and to host a community connection out in our parking lot, being mindful of all the COVID restrictions. How do we do this safely and together? To have this community connection with community partners, to be heard, to have our neighborhood come together, and to know that we're not going to tolerate this inappropriate behavior, that we are so much better together than apart, and that we must hold individuals responsible for their actions, and in doing so also to find measures in which we can support each other as a community, because we are all hurting at this point. There's all so much stuff going on. How do we make sure that there's enough food on our tables? How do we make sure that there's clothing for our children? How do we make sure that the internet works so our kids can do distance learning? There is a lot going on. So how do we take this moment in time to connect, to put a face on with each other, and to have this touch point? My friends, as I think about the many ways in which we have addressed violence in our neighborhood, we have come together and we have responded. I wish that we didn't have to come together in this way in response to this. And yet that's what gets people to come out. And I don't know what I think about that, and yet that's the important piece, is that each of us can make a difference in this moment. How can each of us connect with our community so that our community can function in positive and better ways? So be looking for information as we will be getting stuff out to you for this community connection, as well as an opportunity to speak as a congregation as we try to find ways in which we can continue to offer safety and security. The Hazel Park Learning Center Board of Directors met on Saturday morning and has devised a plan to make sure that their staff, their families, the children who are brought here are kept safe. And we have been in touch with our community leaders, especially law enforcement, to aid in that process. We are also looking at the various ways in which we can continue to secure our building, and we will keep measuring all of those aspects, and we will keep you informed of what's going to be taking place as it relates to our building security, and also the ways in which we can continue to partner with our Hazel Park Learning Center and the church. I also want us to take a moment to pray. To pray for the teacher who had to endure such a horrible moment in their life. To pray for the families and their children. To pray for the other staff members who are trying to figure out how to offer support to their colleague. For the church staff, and also our neighborhood, as we gather together to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And to offer prayers to those who did this act, that they too may find moments of reconciliation. So my friends, as we take this time, as we think about the amazing ways we are community, let's hold on to that. Let's hold on to the ways in which we connect with each other. As we gather, as we say hello, as we look out for one another. This is so important, and we are so much better together than apart. God be with you on this day, my friends, and we'll be in touch.